Good morning to meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Thursday morning, the second to last day of October, where it is a foggy start to the day in eastern Nebraska, where a dense fog advisory remains in place until 10 o'clock this morning. Some eerie fog this morning in Lincoln, places like Lincoln, Beatrice, Fremont, Omaha, Sioux City, all seeing some thick fog out there this morning. Just for perspective here, check out this shot here. This is as of the time of the recording here. It's about 7:10 in the morning, and look at that in Lincoln. This low-lying fog, that's Memorial Stadium right there, shrouded in fog. I wish the Husker football game were like this on Saturday night. That would be a cool sight. It would be a fog bowl. There's the Capitol building right there. Here's a closer look at it. There's the Capitol building there in downtown Lincoln. There's the city skyline here, all shrouded in fog this morning. So a dense fog advisory till 10 o'clock this morning over eastern portions of Nebraska. The rest of us are doing fine. A couple of passing clouds this morning. There's some moisture showing up on radar up north, but I don't think any of it's reaching the ground here. Big story though, cold front, but despite it, it's a Pacific cold front, not an Arctic front. It's actually warmer this morning behind the front. We are seeing an end to the growing season everywhere else with temperatures that are down into the 20s this morning. But the temperatures are warmer as the winds are kicking up out of the northwest behind that front. We'll actually warm up today. It will be one of the warmest days this week for the majority of us that we've seen all week long. Highs in the upper 50s and low 60s later today. We will deal some brisk winds out of the northwest, 10 to 20, with gusts up to 25 or so miles per hour. Those winds will calm down tonight. Mostly clear, a little chilly tonight, but most of us will actually be a little bit warmer tonight than we were this morning. Tomorrow, increasing clouds in two areas. We'll see increasing clouds from the north, which is coming with some cold air that's going to sag south into the area. We're also going to see some increasing clouds right in here tomorrow. So becoming partly cloudy, if not even mostly cloudy for some of you. Mostly cloudy here along the Nebraska state line with Kansas, and then to the north and northeast. And this is where the chilliest temperatures will be. Some of those clouds sticking around up north. These clouds will diminish Friday night. Let's back it up here. Friday night, trick-or-treating right there. We'll go to 7 o'clock there after the sun goes down. The trick-or-treaters are out. Temperatures will be down in the 40s, maybe even some 30s up north. It'll be a chilly one for those trick-or-treaters, but otherwise I don't expect any big weather. Winds will be about 5 to 10 miles per hour in the evening. It will be a little cold to start off our Saturday, though. Temperatures back down into the 20s for a lot of us to start off your weekend. And a cool day is expected on Saturday before we flip the script and see a big change to our forecast when it comes to the weather next week. Highs today, breezy winds, but highs will be up into the upper 50s and lower 60s despite a cold front coming through. The colder air lagging behind a bit. You can kind of see it out in the panhandle. It won't be as warm there. The cooler air is going to work its way in. Let's take a look around the area. We're looking at a little bit of a wind, but not enough to be a truly windy day. Maybe a little windy around Broken Bow and Brewster. Early clouds giving way to sunshine. There's some moisture showing up right here on radar, but I don't think much is reaching the ground. Maybe some flurries or sprinkles, but I don't expect much. And it's right away this morning. It'll move on out pretty quickly. Lots of sun after a couple of passing clouds. Upper 50s and lower 60s in the southwest. Upper 50s and lower 60s in the southeast. Couple of early clouds, fog here, but then clearing out, lots of sunshine. Northeast areas, fog here. Maybe some very minimal moisture, light rain or snow, but it's very, very minimal. Upper 50s to near 60 later on today. Taking a look at that forecast for tonight, not quite as cold as this morning, but still down in the upper 20s and low to mid 30s. Pretty average for this time of the year. Highs tomorrow will be cooler, especially up north. Chillier conditions there. Mid to upper 40s up north, low to mid 50s in the south. Tomorrow night, a colder night. Now down into the 20s, even teens in the panhandle. Some 30s in the east, a few extra clouds in here. So that's your look at your Saturday morning forecast. Saturday, pretty cool. Mid to upper 40s, lower 50s. There is some warmer air out west. That's going to spread eastward on Sunday, but Saturday is going to be a cool day. And if you're heading to Lincoln Saturday night, plan on a chill. Wear the black coats and the gloves. Plan on a chill. The good news is barely any wind. Not much for clouds at all. It's just all about the temperature. Down in the 40s to start the game, about 44 at kickoff at 6:30, which you can watch if you're not going to be there at Memorial Stadium. You can watch right here on Local 4 and on KNLP News too if you're living in North Platte there in the North Platte area. But 40s to start the game, down into the mid and upper 30s by the end of the game. So it will be chilly, maybe a little chilly for those USC players. That said, they're athletes. They can handle a little cold. It's not brutal. They'll be fine. I keep seeing all this hype about how Nebraska has this huge advantage because they're so much more used to this colder weather than USC is. Yeah, I know it was 90 in Los Angeles earlier this week, but again, they're athletes. They can handle it fine. They'll get moving and they'll warm up. Their bodies will warm up. They'll be fine. It's not the huge advantage that a lot of people are talking about. Yes, it's chilly, but if it were 20 degrees or colder, then I'd say, okay, there's an advantage. It's not that cold, especially without the wind. No wind. So there's no wind chill out there here. But again, lows Saturday night to Sunday morning down into the upper 20s and lower 30s, another chilly one. But look at Sunday. 60s and 70s. 70s in the western part of Nebraska. 60s for the rest of us. A big warm up on the way. And we are going to, maybe while we cool down a little bit on Monday, we're still going to see above average temperatures in the long range. So let's take a look at it in the long term here. Again, a little warmer today, a little breezy out there, cooling down for the end of the week. But then warming up on Sunday, and we're going to keep the nice weather going most of next week. Maybe a slight cool down on Wednesday, but overall highs in the upper 50s and low to mid 60s next week. It's going to be above average for early November, and pretty quiet weather throughout next week. Let's look at North Platte. Not a lot of big differences here. We cool down the next couple of days. Nice jump in temperatures to about 70 on Sunday, and then we settle back down upper 50s, low to mid 60s early next week. No active weather expected during that time frame. In fact, as you look at the long term, we keep the mid and upper or low to mid 60s going most of next week, right into next weekend. In fact, the Climate Prediction Center right now keeps most of the country above average, and we are very likely to be above average through the early portions. They're really the first third or so of the month of November, and we're probably going to be on the dry side. No surprise here. Long range models continue to show that very little moisture is expected in the days ahead. See it here. There's not a lot in our forecast here, moisture wise, and that's because the jet stream is mostly going to be to our north during this time, to our north and to our northeast. We're going to be a northwest flow too, so very limited moisture chances over the next 7 to 10 days. See, everything stays to our north there. Even the GFS is starting to trend a little farther north now, which is good news for us. That means we're going to be trending a little on the warmer side there. So as you look at it here, we're still a little cool here. Today's better, but then we cool down for Friday and Saturday. There's that shot of cooler air. And then look at the jump on Sunday. Then a slight cool down Monday, but we're still going to be near and above average most of next week. None of that colder air really infiltrates our area. It tries to, but it mostly stays just off to our northeast all the way through next weekend. That's the European model. The GFS model, again, we're warmer today. Here comes the cool down Friday and Saturday. And then the big jump in temperatures on Sunday. Slightly cooler Monday, but the warmer air is still going to kind of win out next week, most of next week here. The colder air tries to sneak in, but it's mostly going to stay to our northeast next week here. The GFS is still bringing in some colder air late next week, unlike the European model. That's where the models differ a little bit. But overall, still trying to push that ridge into our area, even into the end of next weekend there. So overall, I think we're going to be looking at above average weather for the first part of November, and going to be mainly on the dry side for the first part of November as well. So there you go. There's your forecast for this Thursday. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all again on Friday. Take care, and God bless. Bye.